right. Welcome, everybody. I'm back, and we have Skullcap SaVant joining us soon with some VSTEG. We're going to kick off showing the creators platform on VE Test, and I've sent out some invites to certain groups. I started with my Patreon, and then I made some personal invites to some friends so that they would have that access to join. And we'll be extending that. I'll be rolling that out to more and more of the community and the public. Right now, this is the first video actually, that there are instructions in the description for you to join our free live chat tier. So we'll kind of walk through that, and then there's buckyballs and stuff happening with the VSTEG, and Skullcap's going to catch us up on all of that. And we're coming into July 4th, Bix's birthday, and really excited for all of that, and hope you guys join us. Give us a like and share the video. Welcome back, Ben. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, we have
everybody out there.
You can see people out there. Good. We are moving things along. I'm going to check in on our chat and find out. Let's see. Oh yeah, goodness. It all started populating. Okay. So I'm moving towards having the only live chat option be through the vetest.app in the creators platform. And I've created a free tier that everybody can join. It costs a little bit of ETH on base chain for gas, or you can use USDC or Veri, but it all has to be on base chain. So put some of that in your wallet, enough to make a couple transactions, and follow the instructions in the description. And you can also, I released a video for my patron only, but I will be releasing that probably tomorrow morning, or I could do it right after this, I guess. Maybe I'll do it right after this. When we get finished, I'll go ahead and release that out to the other platforms so people can see Marco and I from VE Test Uprising going through the platform and kind of showing everybody. It's really cool, and it's a way for us to communicate in an encrypted platform with and you also get, so there's an opportunity for every tier to have an NFT. So when you sign up, you get that NFT in your wallet. And so my plan is to try to change the NFTs once a month, especially on the paid tiers, so that they have new NFTs that are collectible that were created by little old me, and probably AI, but little old me.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So, go ahead. Let me turn
This is a cool thing that if people out there, there's a possibility that people that are listening were part of the theta.tv wave. And this is kind of like same functionality as what theta.tv was going after.
Interesting. Yeah.
With the NFTs that you could award your audience, you could do it on the fly. You can mint them because you were minting them right on the Theta blockchain. It was
yeah. And actually, I'm not minting them. My viewers are minting them
are minting them at their own cost. Yeah. It's a little bit similar but different. Is kind of what I'm trying to convey. It's a good idea. I was really bummed when theta.tv disinvested itself. I mean, divested that whole platform because they're now focused on everybody like AI processing, where they really need to focus. But somebody had to pick up this business model again or this use case. It's not really business model per se, because as far as I understand it, it is a free thing to use minus the gas fees that you've got for uploading and stuff like that, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's well, and you're not necessarily uploading, it's just to join the tiers and to use like to create a creator's room. I had some gas, which in that I also had platform fees and Reggie's IP fees, or fees that went towards his to pay for his IP or the licensing to use his IP.
Okay.
But it's very minimal and definitely worth it. If you're on Patreon, like they're robbing you blind, and you could build a tier here that you receive. I wouldn't say all because there are the fees, but you receive, your
Receive the
the
lion's share.
yeah, for sure. So it's very, very minimal. But so I'm going to show you guys like the community chat in here, and this is what eventually I'm going to be shutting off my chat on every other platform. I'm kind of using June as like a transition month for everybody to kind of come along with us and give them some time. So I will be sharing the community chat or the community chat that's on YouTube. I'm happy to share that for a little while longer, but eventually what I'll be sharing is just this. And we can kind of see like we have all these people that have joined, Shmi, Jeremy, my husband, Black Belt 67. My mom was in there somewhere. I can't see hers.
Says, hey, hot stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we're getting in there, and I know my mom's in there too. I don't know why her message didn't populate, but we're a work in progress and kind of.
She's the overmind. She is everyone, right? So her
She
name
is
doesn't
everywhere.
actually show up.
Nana is everywhere. Yeah. So eventually it will just be this chat. But for now, we want to give people time and transition to move over, get their wallets. And part of the reason that I created a free tier was because I do love our community so much. And I felt that was really important not to take anything away from the community that we've already built. And we have a really strong community in the live chat that they talk to each other. They know each other. We've had meetups and people have met each other in person. So I didn't want to take any of that away. And so to me, it was important to go ahead and build a free tier that would mimic like a YouTube experience. And then there are paid tiers that you can support my work and get extra shows or be able to contact me, different things like that. But that's going to be separate. I haven't rolled any of those out just yet, but we're working on those. So, whoops. Oh, Lord, what did I just do? Clicking on things. But if we come back to this page, and then you can see the community chat and these live videos. The other thing you can do when you join is right here, it says past live streams, just below the video, and you can drop down and see the previous streams. So like there was a creator tutorial. That was the video that I did for with Marco from VE Test Uprising, where we went through the whole platform and showed everybody how creators works. And then this was my little gift to everybody that made it over here. I was just telling them welcome and thanks for joining me here and how much it meant to me to have the community come along and into the world of sci-fi and using Reggie's patents. We're doing this peer-to-peer and in an encrypted environment. So it's really exciting for me to be a part of this project. So you can come in and you can either
NFTs will yet be shown to be the value for what they are. People still haven't gotten it yet, but this is a wonderful showcase for
if you
how
think
NFTs
of
used effectively is.
Yeah, like a key or a membership, proof of membership or something like that. It really has a lot of value. Like there's one, like I'll show you guys, for example, I have not added my, you can go to the Smart Metal store in here and you can purchase the Smart Metal rounds. And those connect right to Quantum Metals in New Zealand, and they'll get them. And they do have a shipping out of the US. Don't get worried.
If everyone just imagines a non-fungible token attached to tradable objects, we wouldn't have derivatives.
Exactly. And that's a lot of this is that, Reggie's vision of a peer-to-peer free markets for everyone. And you can watch that video that we did on the creators. Well, not just creators. We're going to be doing other videos showing like the functionality of the different communities and things like that too as the projects roll out. But like, I'll show you this smart metal. See, I do not have, of my smart metals, I have not activated the NFT and put it in my wallet that I use on this. So I would not be able to get into the smart metal room. So I couldn't talk with the other smart metal people. I couldn't, whatever they're doing in there. So it's really cool just seeing them build use case. Am
I seeing that you can buy this somehow through the platform there too? Is there a shop now button that you can?
Yeah, this is, if you go to Smart Metal Storefront or Smart Metal Store, you can actually purchase around with crypto.
So you can buy this with crypto. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is it only like the gas that they let you buy it with, or what is the
no, so you can use ETH, USDC, or Veri, as my understanding. But all, like I said, they must be on base chain. So you might have to swap it before you put it in your wallet or whatever. But you can use any of those three, and then you can place your order. There's only 1,882 units left.
Ooh.
So
I gotta get another one before those are out.
Yeah, because and then you put your information in, if you have any special instructions, and place your order. So
very good.
That's good stuff. But we are back on. These are the creators that are currently out there. And I'd recommend you go in and join as many as you can so that you're in the communities and being able to use this and be active. But if you go to Litecoin Lisa, conspiracy theorist, innovator, crypto innovator, proud American, encouraging the community to find freedom by taking personal responsibility in finance, health, and personal safety.
And number 7 down there in a tile not yet identified, we'll have Skullcap SaVant.
There you go. We're moving. Yeah. And I talked to Jenny today, and I was texting with Bick, so I'm hoping to have them join the platform as well. I think it will be a lot of fun.
Yes.
And there's a creators chat as well. So if you have a creator layer, or not layer, but if you have a creator profile and have tiers under it, then you can probably assign the tiers. Come into the chat and then talk with other creators, sharing ideas or making suggestions to the platform, whatever. But so these are the 2 tiers that I have set up currently. I did the 0 per month. And this is where, if you join this one, then that's where you're going to start seeing the chat for the show that I'm going to be putting into the show. And eventually it will be exclusively that chat, unless I'm in Green Room. If you join Green Room and I do a Green Room show, then those will be this idea is like my after the show. If you want to ask questions to my guest or whatever, you would join this, and I would go on live after the show, and then I would use this room and this chat, and you could ask questions in there too, and you would be able to see, but this will not be on YouTube, Rumble, anything. It will only be on VE Test app on creators. So yeah, I'm going to create some different products and hopefully bring some value to the community, and hopefully they'll join me and on these different things. So
exciting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Marco says, refresh your page, Lisa. Oh no. Okay. So it's refreshing. I hope that fixes it. Maybe he was able to put Nana's back on there somehow. So
how I've got one question as far as this is community only and not video storage archive. This isn't hooked up to a database where so you'll still have your YouTube channel, and this will be your community portal where your YouTube channel streams to when it's live.
Yeah, not really.
Or it'll stream not when it's live, but after it's done being live, you'll have an archive there of a link that you can get to access
for a while. for a while, but eventually we will just be here. Eventually.
So there
Right
will
now,
be
like I said,
video storage
I
eventually.
no, it's another way of doing it, but I'm not going to discuss it.
Well, I thought I'd ask. At least it's taken care of. You can tell me offline if you want to,
Yeah,
but I'm
hopefully.
now my interest is piqued on how that works.
Yeah. So I think it all looks really good. I think he meant refresh this page. I hope I'm doing that right.
Okay. Well, that'll be cool, especially
Yeah.
when that's the case. That's what a lot of people are looking for, to avoid the shadow banning entirely. Ooh.
Right.
To avoid the algo.
Yes. Or
They'll never
engage
degrade themselves by being the next TikTok. It'll only be, you come here because you want to come here, like the old school internet. You know, that's a good thing.
Well, so I think that's what he meant. Okay. So go into our chat. Yeah. Okay. One of the things, and it's still loading, so that's part of it. Because I just refreshed it all. Yeah, one of the other uses is like, so I did a show like last Friday, and then afterwards I'm like, I forgot to tell him about Stellar and the DTCC. And so I went in here in the community chat and I was like, hey, I forgot one more thing on last night's show. I really wanted to share with everybody. Stellar is being used by the DTCC to tokenize property. So it really feels like and what's interesting is, so this added little thing, we recently requested a duplicate title for one of our vehicles, and we got the response that that all titles are now held online as of July 2025. And so they instructed us how to go online, find and print our title, whatever, but it's being held online. And this was a year ago. And one of the things that I'm seeing that parallels this, I see pieces of things, dots, and I tie them together, and it may be accurate, it may not, but it's my interpretation, is that there's also stuff right now, like, so last year in April, and then it was like, or maybe it was January, and they had 90 days to implement the no more DEI, and we were going to a merit system. Well, now we're like a year later, and they are just now suing, I can't remember who it was, suing somebody for doing DEI. Like the wheels of justice turn slowly. And so although the laws were in place then, we're just now seeing the results of it. And there's other things that are similar to that, things that when Trump came in January of 25, that those things are now, you're seeing the consequences roll out. It just took that long. Yeah. Thanks, Thorand. Yeah, it is really cool. And I'm really excited to share with everybody, and hope everybody joins us over here. And like I said, so when you join I'm also giving you value that when you join a tier, each one of these has an NFT that you'll receive from me. And then every month I'll be able to, at least in the paid rooms, I'm going to change them once a month so that people get a new, and they could start a collection. Like they could always do green room, NFTs, and they have so many months. One of the things that I think they have a really healthy and user-friendly thought process about is that and ethical, is that it's not an auto-renewing subscription. So it's for 30 days. And then when you log on, it's not that you're kicked out and lost everything, have to redo everything, but it will say like, this one expired. So then you choose to make the transaction again and rejoin the group. So it really keeps a healthy, true number of engaged subscribers and real people. You're not having bots in and, all that kind of stuff too. So, yes. And Marco's giving us the NFT smart contract for the creators. NFTs is right here. So if you need that to put in your wallet so that your NFT will show up. And thanks, Shmi, for joining. Shmi has I believe it's Shmi, is the Irish, what are they called? Veritans? I can't remember what it's called. I'm sorry. Yes, Irish Veritans. Yes, and this is by Shmi, and they're doing some really cool stuff. I hope to have an interview with them and Marco and talk about what their creator level is for and what's going.
Are they technologists there? Is that what they do?
They're using technology with farming, is my understanding, and I apologize for speaking, but it's really cool. It's like a community based effort and using blockchain and all that. So
yeah, I've got some connections for that guy if that's really the case.
Awesome.
Or that gal. Yeah. I don't know if it's guy or girl, but
I don't know. But I'm excited about all of it. So yeah, he says you can look at the link to see some of the NFTs. Oh, I think he's telling me to go here. See some of the NFTs. I think that's what he's saying.
So that's one of the questions I was going to have is there a place for people to view the NFTs? Is that can you put them in yourself in a gallery or something? Is that
in your wallet? You can see them, and then also on Coursebase Scan. I wonder why it didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, because I copied the whole thing. Sorry, guys.
Copied the username, everything, huh?
I did something wrong. Try different words. It did not match. See, I'm learning, you guys. And I got to tell you, like, Marco is a saint because he's so patient with me. We've been, building on different things like user opportunities or the profiles, or, hey, can I get you to help me with this? Can I help? Oh, they're there. Can I get you to help me with that? And or can we have this opportunity or option or something for the user interface? And he is just is amazing and walks me through all of it. So this is the token ID that right now you will get in the live chat. If you join the live chat, you get my little Finding Freedom Through Personal Responsibility that actually a viewer made me years ago, and I use it all the time. I love it. And then the green room, I don't see one up here just yet because I think I changed it out from there, but you'll have another image there. So hoping to bring more value like that and let everybody kind of check it out.
Have super secret meetings where nobody about the NFT holder even hears about it. Maybe.
They also there's so much more on the platform. There's literally like a free market. It's a intense or premium intense group that you can go into and say, like, I have this much ETH and I want that much or vice versa. And there's a lot of other things. They're working on pro services. They're working on, anyway, so make sure you're following VE Test Uprising on YouTube to get the videos. We're going to collaborate on videos and roll out the projects that are building on this platform because we feel like it's the true free market. So super excited about that. Yes. So, and remember the instructions are very simple and they're in the description of this video. I'm going to start adding them to each video and it should roll.
MetaMask wallet required, correct?
MetaMask wallet is required and either ETH, USDC, or very on base chain in your wallet. So it's good. It's good to like flex our crypto muscles and, use the things that we believe in and transact in those ways. So
we inevitably should have gotten there in 2018. One of these days, like I was enlightening to you before the show, I'll have to more transparently share my journey through the industry at that time,
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
And inevitably it's all leading back to Reggie, as you learned today too. Reggie was right at the heart of my story too, in a weird sort of a way. And to be continued. But this is really this is a really cool milestone of. I wasn't expecting to see this. You just shared this with me yesterday out of the blue.
We've been working on it for a while, and Marco's been working on it for he has thousands and thousands of hours. And
I would imagine so. Of course,
I mean, it's amazing.
It's a very functional thing with many features as it is. He didn't just build something that's single function where he's going to add to it later. He's got a whole map of stuff tied into it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
A good core component for grabbing value and sucking it in. The value that you're creating with your yapping out in the ether.
Well, that's where, like, we were originally, his idea was to work with my thrifting business and have me come on and do like appraisals, because people ask me all the time.
You know how fucking fantastic an antique roadshow guided by platform tokenology and NFTs. Like, think about it. Antiques are even perfect for NFTs also, because an antique is a one-of-a-kind piece at this point, as you know. So if you attach the world's best antique salesman, Lisa, because like all these old QVC staristas used to be, and you christen it with your NFT, that means something. It's like a validation key. It's like a watermark that it made it through your authentication process as the antique expert. It's perfect for that.
Well, so we were working on that, but I was really struggling with, because I feel like community is one of the strongest things that brings value. And if you're building, in a cave, nobody's coming in there, And so I really wanted to be where the community could be involved in it and be, and benefit from it. I want to bring value to my community. And this was a way he gave me, I suggested, is there some way to do something outside of Patreon that would be more peer-to-peer? Because Patreon takes a huge cut, and all of those platforms do. I mean, whether it's, I'm, doing stuff on YouTube, and I don't know that they've ever sent me a dime. I got a tax bill one time from them or something, but it's just, that's not a way. They're stealing my viewers' energy and taking it for themselves instead of it coming directly to me and I put out this energy, I'm exchanging energy and value with you. I do a show, it's part of the community, all that. And then they give me their attention for that value add, to back. And those platforms, when it's the middleman, they're the ones, that's what's happened to America, is whether it's the insurance companies or, whoever, sorry, dogs are going nuts. Then those are the ones that are stealing. That's where the middle class went. There is no middle class anymore. There's the elite, and there's the ones getting by.
That was our moniker at Token IQ. No more middlemen.
Yeah.
You see why we
I'm sure it's no coincidence that Reggie's middle name is Middleton.
Well, it was all very funny. The quality was just fantastic, when at that point. But again, here we are back at the timing, like you and I talked about. I couldn't have been filthy rich then, because then I wouldn't have been able to struggle through these years and birth out all the VSTEG stuff.
Also wouldn't have been as free. You would have been distracted.
I hate to say it, I might have. I would have had kids too early. It's very valuable to me to have been through what Allison and I've been through. These last 8 years. Instead of cashing out on that company when it was going to be something here, we have to arrive back where we're meant to if we are doing things right. So, but yeah, I kid you not. Like, I mean, think about, I'm with you on like doing something for your community.
Yeah.
But sure. I also think that you doing your antique, like fictitious antique show that I can visualize in my head, right? That is doing something for your community.
I am going to be. And also, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just the NFT thing, the authentication layer of things. That's why you can tokenize the world. You can tokenize a building. You can token and structure it in a way where, anyway, we can get into that aside from the techniques. But
we do have appraisals, which he has already built. So it starts the process. It's not completely finished. And there's things I'd like to change about it a little bit. But you can request an appraisal here from me. We'll get into all that another day after Marco and I have some time to work on that. But he is a doer. He is getting stuff done and building stuff and having use case for all of us. So super.
Imagine the marketplaces. This is just, if you can appraise something on a platform like this, attach an NFT to the value, that can now be traded on a marketplace. You can do anything with this. You can do car VIN numbers. You sell collector cars on here.
Yeah.
You can sell.
Marco says we're adopting what Skullcap's talking about, antique NFT for sure in appraisals. So yeah, that's what you already knew. Like, we're already building that, but you hit right on where the value is. Yep. So it's really cool.
Well, this I understand this, because this, again, this was the technology that my company was doing back in 2016 to 18. We with our use case, Lisa, I didn't tell you this before the show, and this still disambiguates it to where I can keep that side of it, sacred, whether my old boss wants me, spouting off about his stuff on a conspiracy show or not. That's I keep that partition the best I can. But at the company, we proved that you could purchase real estate in a tokenized fashion. This was 2016 that we proved it. There was a local hotelier that wanted to break up the investment structure of a real estate project. And instead of going to the well of investment and writing debt notes against paying them back to the project for investors, right? Because that's how you typically go about funding like a $10 million real estate project or something. Even to this day, is you go fund debt notes, and those debt notes pay interest on the people that pick them up and as their burden, because they want the real estate project to succeed, right? So this was actually not a ground floor buildup like you would build like a Las Vegas building. This was a refabrication of an existing structure that had a new concept, a new ownership group, and to fund the $10 million renovation, they used the technology that we provided on the Stellar blockchain, legalized with all of the legal language that would be requisite to create that instrument as a facsimile in the regulatory environment to trade as, like a municipal bond note or something that would maybe fund a local project. You could structure and tokenize the building itself, and then, of course, because it's crypto, you can break it up into however many pieces that you want. And one of the barriers to entry in investing in these projects for the general public is that because it is so expensive in the real world to structure that legal language, let's say you wanted to go fund that project, the same renovation that's $10 million, and you wanted to fund it more traditionally, you would have to go hire your middlemen structure. We're talking about broker dealers. We're talking about registered investment advisors that would bring in their clients and charge you a fee in order to get access to the broker dealers. All of these people, right? We'll just call them middlemen. Because all of that is so effing expensive, you would have to set minimums on the threshold of investment. So you might not be able to take any less than $100,000 at a time, because if that was your minimum amount that you invested, you'd have to pay all these people to structure your investment in the first place, and they're on the take, right? So instead, you can just create the legal basis for this, cut those guys out, throw them away. And because now you're just transacting at however much the gas price is, you don't have to set minimums. You can now take $10 from the general public and just build up toward your 10 million instead of having to go get accredited investors to apply for your project that you wanted to fund. You could now do it this way, all based on distributed ledger, legal basis technology. The crypto that you funded it with was up to you. You have to attach it to some sort of a blockchain in order to make it work, because you'd have to give value up to the legal layer, which was all the distributed ledger Stellar guided system was. Was it checked? Oh, was this instrument legal to use? Yes or no? And it would have to funnel through a KYC.
The smart contract or something to either it passes or it fails.
Right. Because of the KYC process that's automated through regulatory environments. It also keeps out bad actors, because everything's visible on the distributed ledger. You wouldn't have Congress or anybody effing with your legal language you wouldn't be able to sneak in derivatized language and re-break it up and sell it to a pension fund or something, because it was all compartmentalized within the check and balance of the legal language that created. And you could also recover it if you ever lost your tokens. Remember, everybody's like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my Bitcoin private key. Well, with this technology, you were able to go to whoever the court authority was to reissue your ownership.
Right. That's what they're showing right now with the DTCC using Stellar. And that's where you go find your documents.
That's where I'm not convinced my old boss isn't named somewhere in that press release or something.
He might be.
I texted him before the show. Like I said, I was prompted. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to text him to see because I haven't talked to him in years. But so anyway, if you take that piece and you start now you've got legal layer with that tech that I was a part of propagating. I wasn't the developer. I was more like a sales engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And a relationships guy. And anyway, but the point is you can take that basis and shove it into a marketplace like this that provides the value. I mean, you could write an appraisal note within this platform. It looks like that can become a token on its own that, again, is a watermark stamp. Nobody could F with your appraisal now. You're not going to ever question whether you've got some 3-card Monty shit going on and you're given something else. No, because that appraisal chain of custody it attaches itself to the product or the asset.
That's kind of where we're going. So it's pretty exciting. Like I said, we'll be having updates with news that's coming out and all that. But
kudos. It was very exciting to learn about this today, and congratulations to all the developers. Hey, Paige.
Yes. Hi, Paigey.
Because that's it's heartening. It warms my heart that this is there now, and it's got some
the
some legs.
World has lost their trust in the news media, all that kind of stuff, and so this kind of thing where we're going to be able to be engaging. It's Joshy and Paigey. Hello, Joshy and Paigey. And the world's going to be able to get the truth because we're going peer-to-peer, and all of this technology kind of enables it, but we have to choose it. Like Bix's work always says, the people will choose. And, we're seeing the, housing market, and I saw Florida has, the more houses than they've ever had on for sale or something. And that's all coming to a bubble. Stock market's at all-time highs. We know that bubble is, coming. And at the same time, gold is now a world reserve currency. They've just made kind of that big announcement in the last couple days that, we always knew they were kind of moving away from the dollar, but it really hadn't tipped the scale. And now I guess it's officially tipped the scale is my understanding. So we're headed into a whole new world, and it's kind of exciting because we get to choose, and we'll choose where we put our value, our energy, and how we transact with each other. So,
and which weapon we use to slaughter which alien species that's invading us too.
Oh Lord,
we're also going to get to choose that.
Yeah. Oh man, or they can just get deported. I'm fine with that too.
Well, that's part of the whole VSTEG since we talked last is all this alien stuff.
Yeah, so let's launch into that. Let's do some VSTEG and let me know where you are with all that.
Well, I don't remember last we left off because I know you took a hiatus, and since your hiatus, I think if I'm not mistaken, we even discuss like we were discussing the correspondence dinner, I think was the last
thing.
Yes,
I think you're right, because we did,
quite frankly.
We finished the Universe of Oz, and we were, I think we were talking about the correspondence dinner and all the stag around that.
Yes. So some weird things happened there, and I'm going to kind of go through some of this, and I'll have to do on my own, guys. I'm coming back to my channel the best I can soon.
And so maybe
we'll actually have something substantial to promote because I'll be putting effort into my own videos and presentations again. But I'll perhaps have to, because I can't catch us all up an entire month with the context that's
Yeah,
required
yeah.
to really
Just hit the high spots, and then we'll
arrive at today's thing with the FIFA coin. I think is a really good spot
we've
to
been talking about
actually
FIFA.
talk a little bit about, because everybody that's been watching the VSTEG shows, at least up until now, Lisa, you might remember last year when Lisa and I keyed in when I was teaching her first about how William McKinley ties in with Ingersoll Lockwood and the Last President meme and the World's Fairs. And we got led to the Intrepid Museum, which was on the 88th pier, which signifies time. And Trump's campaign, he was texting 88 or 22, which is, V, the 22nd letter, blah, 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 blah. We went through basically a big story arc where I taught everybody the significance of 5 as it relates to the letter V, the 22nd letter of the alphabet, how it's manipulative of time, signified by the analemic pattern of the sun and the moon's orbit, about our perspective to it.
Well, and Cliff is picking up on data. He just did a tweet
now,
about time. And
in fact, he has prescient language that I don't know if it's a crash course or not. I've speculated with this with you just in text that we might be there, like to bring. I don't know how I introduce VSTEG to Cliff. I think it's an important piece that Cliff, that I feel compelled to share with Cliff because of the meme in his work called "Falling Out of Time." We're on the cusp of this this language set in the Alta reports, where falling out of time is the meme of the day, and he doesn't yet have any context or awareness for like placing it anywhere, but it's one of the biggest emotional triggers that he could remember measuring back to like 1999. And it just hit me like a month ago where I was like, oh my God. I think, when I went back and I looked at some of those old reports, I have as early as like 2003 are the first reports I have. I don't have any of the 1999 to 2002 reports. By the time I was onto them, I was grabbing them off of my college intranet, where it was stored on a local server that one of the other students in the dorms stored somewhere. And anyway, I only have back till then. And falling out of time hits on a lot of the language that I'm suggesting with the V-steganography and frequency and manipulation control of the mind. And here's what time is all about, guys. If you've been watching like Mark Atwood's channel recently on YouTube, Mark Atwood is talking about time distortion. Remember when we were talking about time distortion last year, Lisa?
Yeah.
Right around the time
when my whole thing about the 4D and moving to the 5D. And when I was homeschooling my son and I learned about we were doing 0D, 1D, 2D, 3D. And then when I learned that 4D is taking 3D and adding time to it. And I paralleled that with our financial system and how they've tricked us to store our energy in time. And so if we fall out of time, if we get out of the 4D.
Well, here's how I'm suggesting get what it means, because you're spot, like our language is dancing around the same subject here, but I want to codify it and see if you and I can get in, mind meld with this.
Sure.
Falling out of time. I've always argued we've gone through, and why time matters is because time is stuff. It's not a continuum. We're only ever in the ever present now. Right.
It's like if you think about it as a river, and Marco used this when he was explaining to me how Waku, which is I guess the software that the platform's written on, it's like a radio wave or a river going by, and you can stick your hand in it, and you're only going to get what's right there at that time. Time is the same way, because there is no yesterday and there is no tomorrow. We really only have the ever present now, as they say.
It's a trick, but it's an experiential trick. Our consciousness is experiencing that flip book, as it were, right? And so Cliff even gives that refresh rate for the flip book a 22 trillion times a second. Interesting number, right? 22. Yep. There's your 22 again. I've always thought that was curious that V is the 22nd letter, and the refresh rate for the universe is also 22 trillion times a second. And this is where I'm starting to get with this, Lisa. Okay. So if our universe has a refresh rate of that, and consciousness experiences itself at 22 trillion times a second, is there a possibility for a technology to exist where a frequency distortion is created that interacts with that 22 trillion times a second and throws it off by like 5 trillionths of a second, right? Like it just takes your consciousness out of phase, let's say,
Okay.
with 22 trillion times a second, just a fucking little bit, to where now your consciousness is a little bit loopy. Right now, you're not experiencing the 22 trillion. This is the time distortion, right?
And that's part.
You're
So
suggestive. You're getting a different kind of force attached to it, like a leech or something.
like frequency, though, is it because the frequency's off?
Well, my argument has always been Saturn.
Oh yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
rings of Saturn, remember, I argue, create an oscillation field, a ripple effect. They're a created system. They're made out of plasma. The book Ringmakers of Saturn outlines this, where Norman Berggren, very specifically, the Voyager spacecraft, V Steganography, the 2 Voyager craft, which were set off in 1974, specifically went by both sides of Saturn on the way out to the edges of the solar system's heliopause. The end goal for them, of course, was always to reach the heliopause and measure whatever the electric barrier around our vacuum is, right? Thing we can't penetrate. And they just did that a few years ago. But very, very soon after their launch, they photographed and sent back imagery from Saturn. And the ring, very curiously, in 1974, the rings around Saturn were not complete.
Interesting.
There was a whole section that was still flattened out on the dark side of it that still needed to be created. And they filmed these insectoid-looking craft with mandibles and shit coming off of them.
I remember you showing
and they're creating all the moons. So they're collecting whatever sediments out there, it looks like, and they're pooping out moons. That's why Saturn's got 147 effing moons. And every single one of those, I argue, acts like a transducer. So when you broadcast and you actually look at the rings of Saturn, and you can approximate this, you can go to NASA's website, believe it or not. NASA still, they show a lot of stuff that's just a tiny piece of the puzzle. But there are articles on NASA's website that, curiously, they're like, isn't it interesting that Saturn's rings create a harmonic structure like a guitar? And this ring is C sharp, this ring is F flat, this ring is D, and this ring, and when you strum the rings on Saturn, it creates this very haunting sound. They approximate it with digitization on NASA's website. And the only thing I can ever measure it to is I think this is what George Lucas was getting at. We'll get to the V-Stag of George Lucas because the new Star Wars movie came out too on May 22nd on 5/22.
5/22. Oh my God.
We'll get there. But George Lucas owned a sound company called THX. Do you remember the THX?
Yes, I remember seeing the images. Yes, the weird.
So that haunting chord is what Saturn sounds like. If you were to
interesting.
Yeah. Fucking weird, right? So
that's really weird.
And if you remember the moniker on the bottom of the THX, it was the audience is listening. The audience is listening. It would play that chord and it would top out. And now the audience is listening.
Okay, so it was like an engage your brain kind of thing.
Well, I think George Lucas and a whole class of people, I called them the Templars in the work. I don't know for sure if that's still how they would brandish themselves, but we're in this mind war with these people. In my opinion, the George Lucas Star Wars movies are a mythology that's attempting to reconstruct our minds, to wake us up from the time distortion field. Because the only way you can activate your awareness of it is if you become aware of it and activate your noggin and get out of the time trap of Saturn. What Saturn's called chronology. It's the father time, Saturn.
It's also Satan and the black rock.
STN in Hebrew is Satan, the satanic force. This is what I've argued in the work also. Satan is the planet Saturn. What's on the Disclosure Day movie now in the last few days? The poster of the Disclosure Day movie. Bring it up.
I thought it doesn't come out till June
12th, but they just released a new poster, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
There's a new poster for Disclosure Day.
Let's see.
Just go to images. It'll pop up.
Images.
Disclosure Day poster, I would say. Okay, there's Saturn on that one. Do you see Saturn with the eyeball?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's that one. Now do just type poster up at the top.
Okay.
So I see Saturn on this one. I'm not seeing the photo I'm actually referencing here. Just a sec. There's one with Emily Blunt's face.
And a bird.
And there's a cutout of Saturn.
It's a cardinal. Or are you talking about?
Here it is. Save this.
Send it to me.
Yeah, I'm just going to send this to you in the chat here. All right.
AJ's helping you. We lose your audio when you turn your head.
They said when I turn my head?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or maybe it's Joshy, actually. It's probably Joshy helping you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is a snafu that I needn't party foul with, but
that's all right.
I am.
Where are you sending a private chat or?
Well, I was until maybe the format. Oh, I see. The format is.
You might have to text it to me.
The format was AVIF. It's not like an image file. But the here we go. This one will save. No, it fucking won't. Jesus. Sorry, everybody. Look up Emily Blunt, just Emily Blunt face Disclosure Day or something. I got to show everybody this because it's two in your face, like literally and figuratively. Funny, like pun. There you go. Boom. There you have it.
Well, this one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The eye is the perception. It's what you see. It's what it is. It is the lens by which the universe unfolds in front of you. It's your main sensory apparatus by which can be controlled. There's messaging here that's indicative of, I think it's very important, Lisa, that we figure out how to wake everybody up out of this time distortion, because we're literally have this parasite sucking away at us. Call it loosh, call it whatever you want. And I think the mechanism of it is, again, distorting time, just barely.
I agree.
Whatever the oscillation that Saturn creates with its harmonic field operates with the moon as another transducer. And the moon is the thing that fucks with our emotions, right?
Yeah. Women's cycles.
So yes.
The crazy people on the full moon, all that kind of stuff.
The menstrual cycle that a woman has to go through for reproductive cyclic shedding and all this, right? I kind of jokingly, when I was at the height of my regularity, when I was posting the most, I had a meme that was, remove the moon. What would happen? What would happen if we just got it the fuck out of here? And why do you think it's manned with selenites? Like Cliff talks about, right?
Yeah.
So it's really important that I think we've got to go to war with these space aliens, but we can't go to war with them in the current state that our minds are in. We have to figure out that we're so far away from even recognizing this. We have to rely on popular media and deprogramming through the popular movie structures of things.
Mm-hmm.
To at least soften our minds up, to give it a template for thinking about this stuff, because it hasn't been introduced yet. Then you're stuck in the time loop.
So remember when just recently I don't know, it was White House or Pentagon. I want to say it's the Pentagon had all the religious leaders come and they wanted to talk to them. And my guess was, that they're getting ready to roll something out and they want to have control of the belief system or whatever. But there's this pastor guy, I think he's a priest, actually. I believe he's Catholic. Yeah. And he was just recently defrocked. for
What does that mean?
saying that the aliens are, that it's demons, or that demons are aliens, vice versa. And that always goes back to me to Cliff talking about his dad in the military, and how he saved this whole crew and got awarded and all this, recognized by the military for saving all these people, because they used to have night vision goggles that were red, and the red, they could see the entities, and they were shooting at each other, whatever, trying to shoot these entities and scaring the crap out of them. And so to me, that, in the Bible and all that, they talk about, winged creatures and this and that and whatever.
Just gargoyles in general that are on the side of all sorts of skyscraper architecture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
this is the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's trying to tell everybody, it's like a 5-minute long thing, so I don't want to do the whole thing, but he's talking about the UFOs and life on other planets, all this kind of stuff. And he's an exorcist, or exorcism specialist is what he actually does. And so he's talking about the UAPs, or the UFOs, the things. And he said when he saw them, he could see that they were demons.
Yeah.
And
so, I imagine the insectoid beings, that I'm sure that it's an insectoid thing. I think I've got a great degree of certainty about that. The very beings that Cliff encountered in his mescaline trips.
Right. But didn't he say that they knew that they would be scary to us, like humans? If you see blood, you just naturally shiver. Maybe that's where I think our natural enemy.
Ding, 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 ding. So here's my whole grand theory of it all too, is that the mantis beings are really the Elohim too, that are really just psionically fucking with us when in our presence. If they ever had to show themselves in the ancient past, they were manipulative of the brain enough to where they could make themselves look resplendent. Mm. Because that's what, Isaiah and all these prophets, they're these glowing beings, right? Like these beautiful glowing beings. But what didn't ever make any sense to me was all of the due process that's ridiculous all over the Old Testament, of the not the embalming fluids, but the anointing fluids.
Oh, okay.
The humans had to go through all these rituals because our parasitic, all the filth of the humans was not compatible with the Elohim beings, when you would have to go take counsel with them. This is all over the book of Enoch. This is all over, how Noah had to operate with these people, which was Enoch's son. And the anointing of all of these essential oils that you'd have to put on yourself just to interface with the Elohim, something is off about it to me. I think there's an incompatibility, or perhaps it's an aromatic thing, where you have all these oils on you and it makes you even more susceptible to the mind control or something, like it's a primer.
Like the way that it triggers memories, sense will trigger memories or something.
Yes. Yeah. But in a way that where the mixture of whatever the anointing fluids are that the humans had to go through pre-processing with, if you could even gain audience with the Elohim, it may be a priming of the mind with all of the olfactory, and think about the organ of the skin. It absorbs certain things right into the cellular structure of it. And it probably fucks with the vagus nerve, which has your antennic structure here, right? So there's all of this ancient parasitic, and nothing's more parasitic than like these insectoid mantis beings that I've always envisioned when Cliff has talked about that stuff. But back to his altar reports, if we're going to fight back against the aliens at all, we first have to fall out of time, and we need a template and an understanding of what it is and why it is. And the way I argue it, remember, with the VSTEG, is it's just reverse engineering the remote viewing process. If instead of collecting thoughts from the ether, like a remote viewer does with a tasker, that's able to just write random scrawls of letters and numbers on a screen, and just by thinking of it, whoop, the download happens. What happens when you reverse the process? What happens when you actually get like a sorcerer type, somebody who's manipulative and capable of mind control, like these mantis creatures? presumably, theoretically, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't you reverse that process and pre-program the same glyph, like V, to mean all of these things? And you put it right in plain sight with everything, to where you can't help as the viewer to download it. You know, all of these people
Like
have always
it's
said
the NFT for, so if you're watching, if you're looking at it because you see it, it takes
it
different
just downloads you. It
Yeah.
has all of this subliminal shit that you can't even defend against it.
Mhm.
It sucks you right into the time spell. You don't know it's there, so you don't know it's happening. And
Mhm.
it's just like, you know, it's a different way to think about it than the average person who thinks like the Freemasons. Oh, they have to ritualize all this stuff. They have to show you because it's part of their karma. They can't, you know, that's what you always hear. But I argue it's a little bit more complicated than that. I argue that the spell is hitting you subliminally without you even knowing it. And they're pre-programmed glyphs that you, how could you possibly defend against an attack that you don't know you're being attacked with, right? And it's causing it I think it has a locking in effect for whatever the oscillation field of Saturn is, the V specifically, as it relates to time and all these 88s that you see everywhere that have to do with it.
Yeah.
And
well,
and in order, you know,
it's interesting to me because if it's a plasma thing and dimensions or whatever, and these are interdimensional beings and a plasma thing, you know, we're coming into the big celebration. Of course, before we get there, we have to go through FIFA, which is this next week or so.
Yeah.
And then the portal that it looks like a Stargate, but it's a stage or something. And now Trump is teasing or trolling the people that they're going to leave it there. That it looks
maybe
like
it's permanent, like the Paris Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. And so, but it looks like a Stargate. And then to me, that goes back to, you know, we had talked about before the Tomorrow War and how that starts. And it's a plasma portal that the military from the future comes out on the stage of FIFA, you know, the largest sporting event of globally, because it's soccer, football. And they warn people, you know, what's happening in the future and all that.
Well, I think that's what the Trump administration partly is doing with the FIFA hosting of the whole FIFA thing in general, because if this is to work, like my grand proclamation there, it's not really a proclamation. It is just a theory that we've tested out with the VSTEG. But if it is to work, you need to soften people up again, give them a template to think about this stuff. Soccer is a weird thing in the context of the world's most popular sport. And also that it is a buckyball. Like the soccer ball itself is a buckyball, which is what the Earth is. The Earth's ley line frequencies, the system that we live on, the telluric currents that go underneath us in our feet. These things collect the energy from the cosmos, and it stores that frequency just within the Earth too. So not only are our brains participating in this oscillation effect to distort time, let's say, if we're going to be on the same page with that with Saturn, well, the Earth itself is put out of phase too. The moon is playing a huge part, and we're getting adjusted based on whatever energies the Earth is collecting on the ley lines.
Yeah.
And so soccer and FIFA and all of this stuff happening now alongside the VSTEG that I show you guys all the time is very, very key, because I think it's programmed out there for us to find and start to pick our brains away from. We got to peel it back. And if we're ever going to build spaceships and actually go destroy these guys, we have to first be unified that that's the thing to do. Like, that's where we got to focus our energy. And we have to fall out of time first in order for that to occur. Absolutely. And the VSTEG might be one of those keys. Just people understanding how VSTEG works. I have a theory, if I can convey this to enough people. It's the reason I have all my visuals back here too. Saturn and the mind and the eye of the Earth melting here. Venus, the moon. Yep, closer. The lone traveler staring at it from afar, trying to pick it apart. This is the most VSTEG piece of art I ever saw. So I had to have it. So, and so it's out there. That's the thing that was encouraging when I found this. I didn't create this. I found somebody else whose brain put that on a piece of paper. This Chris Jacob is the artist of this.
Mm.
And I talked to him. I had a chance to represent his work when I worked at the gallery when I lived in Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't know anything about V-Steg. He was just like, it came to me in a dream. And I'm like, interesting. So it's like there's a force fighting back again. The conscious force wants us to win this mind battle, but we have to realize that we're in a distorted time field. Our brains are out of. We talked about even the 432 hertz being changed to 440 hertz at some point.
Right.
My other theory, this is where it gets really weird, is that you have 3i Atlas now parked itself around Jupiter. 44 is Jupiter. The Paris Olympics last year, the Eiffel Tower was just mentioned with Trump. When Trump was running for president in 24, the Summer Olympics were going on in Paris. The logo was the astrological symbol for Jupiter.
I remember that. Yeah.
And the entire summer, all of the popular media, number 44 was all over it. Jupiter Street was the place that these guys lived in this Oz-based series on Apple called I forgot the name of this series, where a guy loses his wife, so he tries to go to the alternate universes to try and save her in all of them. I forgot the name of the series, but 44 Jupiter Street was their address, and blah blah on it goes. Like go back to my content. The Chase Bank that blew up in Ohio was on 44 and Huntington Street or whatever. So where you have a faction of people, it seems, showing that to us, maybe to deprogram us, to make us aware that 3i Atlas is on its way. Where does it go? It parks itself around Jupiter now. Jupiter is starting to have rings too. Jupiter, as everybody knows, had like a couple of rings. And I can't be convinced, and where my head goes is 3i Atlas just one of these mantis being creature spaceships that's going to start creating rings around Jupiter now too, as backup, because our minds are waking up to this here on Earth. The spell is breaking. And if maybe the mantis creatures, here's where the theory gets kind of wacky, but say everything I say is plausible and probable and maybe factual. If that's the case, is 3i Atlas therefore backup from the alien race that had to send another ship here to create more rings around Jupiter, to create more oscillation waves? Because our minds are rising above it. Like you say, in your language, 5D, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think we're still talking the same thing with the language. There's the theory that goes behind, like it's not going to happen automatically. There's work still to be done to get people's heads to fall out of time. And that's where I think Cliff High's language hasn't yet manifest in the Alter reports.
But he's starting to see it now, even in current reports.
What if he was to hear about the V-Steg? What if,
I bet he's heard about it.
I don't know if you're right about that.
I'll ask.
Cliff would not be able to recite Cliff doesn't have any idea who I am. Even though I'm right there on the periphery, I guarantee you he doesn't yet. Otherwise, he wouldn't be speculating about what falling out of time means.
I don't know. We'll see. Many pathways to the truth.
I do want to show.
I think that's part of stuff. Well, I think that's part of the universe, though. Like, you see V-Steg so strongly, and some people, like, I see stuff that's, whether it's ads or whatever, that I think has qualia in it, using Cliff's term. I think we all kind of, and he said that, we're all kind of psychic. We may not be aware of it or whatever, but that we're all having this, gut universe experience drawing us to the truth and seeking the truth. And in whatever puzzle pathway, and the V-Steg unlocks the key for you. And a lot of people, and a lot of it is.
I argue it even goes beyond that, though, Lisa. Here's the thing. I argue that because the V is in place and it's brandished where it is with the regularity that it is a planned procedure, just that glyph. And remember my argument here, that it's pre-programmed at all. When you suck it into your consciousness, it casts a spell on you.
Mm.
And so it's more nefarious than just qualia in that regard. You know what I mean? It's a nefarious plan of another human or human eating alien race kind of a thing that's using some sort of a technique. There are methods. If we're under mind control, right? This is the chain of events you got to lead yourself to. We must all be under some sort of a methodological approach for that mind control to happen, right?
Yeah, I think that's what the big black
that's what Saturn signifies.
Saturn is.
Yep.
You know, that's why they go pray to it every year.
There's some sort of fucked upness where so many of the world religions actually worship Saturn.
Yes.
Whether just symbolically or outrightly, like radical Islam.
Yeah.
And this is a sickness of the mind. It's a meme. It's an infectious meme. And the mechanism by which it's programmed into us over time has been steganography, not just VSTEG. VSTEG is only one component. That's why I find it very important to get back to the work, because think about all of the V isn't the only glyph that we're reading that's giving us a dispersion. If I'm right about this, then every letter is fair game for that. And our very language that we've constructed for ourselves might be the thing that's keeping us ingrained in time too much, right? Like your mind can go all sorts of different conclusions. These are just, I can't back these up with anything. These are just what if scenarios, but you see what I mean? Like,
right.
We have to, if there's a method to it, we have to find out what the method is. We have to be able to find the markers for the method. And then only then can we decode it, use it as a despelling mechanism. And then enough people know the despelling mechanism, they start to wake up from it. The frequency, they fall out of time. Remember, like if this is all where the falling out of time language that is yet to hit with any prescient markers is going to manifest, there must be some sort of an approach that we probably use to get out of it.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's the choosing, like that Bix talks about, where the people choose. And there's another thing in Cliff's data where people just stop paying attention to government structures, or that they just became irrelevant. It wasn't even like a rebellion or revolt, but they just become unnecessary, irrelevant, obsolete almost. And that could really be people, using blockchain and transacting with smart contracts and all of that kind of stuff, where it's irrelevant what, the third party says about it. So yeah,
it also looks like Josh and Paige have better memories than me. Dark Matter was the name of that show where the guy was going in and out of the different scenarios. Thank you. So here's where it ends with the argument, right? Where we're coming back to FIFA and soccer. Yes, we've got UFC, the 250th. The way astrology works, in my mind, I don't know if the American Empire, the United States Empire, really ever started in 1776. The way I look at it, we were still under London for 250 years, just with a different name change. The whole corporate structure of America. If we were ever to get out of it and actually build the founding fathers' vision, it fucking hasn't happened yet.
I thought it did happen, but then we got sold out back to the bankers.
I mean, within 3 years. It was within 3 years. It was a fizzle, at best. And when you look at Pluto, that dictates the empire cycle, right? These sorcerers, or these alien beings that the sorcerers worship and act on behalf of, it could be all sorts of different things there in the shadows. I do argue there are subclasses of sorcerers that know how all this magic on the mind actually works, and they have to be here as like administrators to govern it. Mm-hmm. And you never see them and stuff, but if it's to work, the cycles have to be respected. Astrology is it's fixed. The way that it's not fixed, but the energies of the magnetic signature of the planets are what they are, is the way to say it, right? And they have They have definite effects. That's why we've been able to track astrology for so long and been able to predict the different emotionality that our hormones take on in different arrangements of those said planets, right? And all the sectors of the sky, all this matters. And so if you're going to go with the flow of that which you cannot change, the magnetic afterglow of what these planets emit, you have to work within the constraints of what's provided to you. And if you're a banking system like London, who just keeps itself under control, the Jesuits, the Jesuit casuistry of it all, to reprogram society every 250 years and make you think that it's really management changing over. Oh, it's a new country. Oh, it's a new country. No, it really isn't. It's the same people just rebranding themselves because they have to be in harmony with the 250 or so, or 247, I think is what it is, year cycle of Pluto. And now Pluto's back around. Here we are, the 250th anniversary. And it's really the Trump administration capturing that energy and diverting it into our true empire that we never got started in the first place. This is continuation of the American Revolution. The American Revolution happened. American Revolution 2.0
Right.
had to trudge through the shit and get.
There's an astrologer that I had on, Robert Phoenix, I believe is the name.
Okay.
And he was talking about the death of, if you use the astrology and birth chart of America, that we would be coming into a death of America. And I said, well, what if there's a rebirth? Could there be a rebirth, a new date?
What if it never birthed in the first place? That's my argument, right? Because it was just a name. It was a false name that was given to the same system. The true American system, I might argue, hasn't ever gotten a chance to take foot or to take root. And that might be the very thing that's happening now for the very first time, especially if you're going to expect the astrology of it.
Yeah.
Just so happens, conditions were that they didn't do it right. Like, sorcerers don't really get karma all that well, I would argue, because if they think that they can refresh that cycle over and over again without karma actually finally catching up and biting them in the ass, because universe wants novelty, doesn't want the same fucking domineering banking system every fucking time. It wants to create conditions of novelty. And so it's going to kick those fuckers out eventually. And it's going to create really rough conditions in the meantime. But I think,
they've said it'll be a rough transition, and that community will be needed, as much or more than gold, food, all that kind of stuff. So I only have a couple minutes left.
Let's just show the new coin that's coming out to wrap it all up, since we started talking about that stuff, and at least give one more piece of Easter egg for people.
Am I going to the mint?
Yeah, just go to the mint. Just go to the mint. If you go to their shop products section, there's a new commemorative coin that was announced today.
Okay. View all coin programs?
I think probably view all coin programs will get you there. Yeah, I think that's how I got there earlier. Here you go. Unless these are strictly the Oh, there it is. FIFA commemorative coins. First one. So learn more about the FIFA commemorative coins. And here we go. In particular, the silver ones are not as interesting to me, about, the golden age and FIFA being hosted here in North America.
Okay, stop. See this where it looks like a 7?
Yes.
And this looks like a 6? This is the image, not the boy, but just those parts of his legs over is the image for Crystal Bridges, which is being reopened, rededicated this weekend on the 6th and 7th by the Walmart lady. And I felt like that 6-7 was really haunting me in her logo. And then to see it here mimicked again. And remember the satanic thing that kids were doing, the 6-7-6-7, whatever.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know how that came about. It was just there,
around there this weekend. Yeah. I don't know. But I noticed the buckyball here. I guess that's what you were gonna.
Well, in particular, yeah, if you go down, scroll down to the product page, and you can find just that $5 coin. It's a $5 V, the Roman numeral for 5.
Oh, half World Cup half quarter?
Keep going. No, maybe not. Shop now.
Shop now.
Or no. The scrolling that you could do would have gotten you there. My bad.
Okay, these are all way more than $5.
There it is. $1,388. There it is. If you click that, the image on there, it'll take you to the product page, and then you can take. Why would
they call it a $5 coin when it costs $1,300?
Well, because a $20 coin is a full eagle. So this is a quarter. This is the size of a quarter. Is what this is. Okay, I don't know. But a full golden eagle is $20 face value. That's why it was interesting to me. Remember when the Batman ones came out? Yeah. Mm-hmm. For some reason, still to this day, you go buy the Batman gold coin, it's $50 of face value. Interesting. It's only an ounce. So the Batman coin, part of the V-Steg lore, guys, is for some reason a $50 coin. When a household limit, only one. Yeah, just one per household. I am going to do my very level best to save up to buy one of these because I just like having stuff that it is responsive to the work, And notice it's from the West. Yeah, it's from West Point Mint. And it has the buckyball and what I call in my work the Earth Grid Control Network and the Victory Trophy on the other side. Victory Day, the Washington Monument, and the Winter Solstice Reset Ritual. Well, and there's 2 V's, the W. The W. But everybody might remember Vivi and Victory from the wordplay that happened at the correspondence dinner. Yeah. Huh. Very interesting things. The Earth Grid Control Network, it's a nod of confirmation that the framework that I'm suggesting is likely because this happens like this. That's why we pick up on it. That's what, because we have the cipher. I call it, when one is in knowledge with the V steganography, you have the V cipher to decode it. There we go. And the V cipher, just like reading your secret message for your Ovaltine on the Christmas Story movie, you can decode the message. However lame or awesome it is still the message. And it speaks to what I'm suggesting. And I think we're right there. Space aliens, awareness of space aliens has to occur, however it does. Right. The template of them has to be created on the minds of people that it's possible that aliens exist because these fuckers have been fucking with us way too long and we're going to have to go to fisticuffs with them. And we need to know that we can rely on a multitude of us to do it because it's not going to happen just with a few. And that's why this is a 50-year wake-up process for falling out of time. It's going to be, the falling out of time meme in Cliff's work might very well be, Josh and Paige, space aliens are bust. There's an old hashtag from my work too. In order to go to fisticuffs with these guys, everybody's got to agree that we're going to fisticuffs with them. And that, well, it may just be an exposure because if they've been hidden behind this veil all this time and that's their power is that you can't see them, that we don't know they're there. They don't acknowledge. Sometimes, the scariest monster in the room, all of a sudden, when you turn on the lights, looks totally different. And that exposure may be the ending of the control. Our psychic stuff, we're very psychic beings. If we can override the oscillation field that Saturn creates, we'll see the emperor with no clothes. There you go. That's a perfect way to end the show. But it has to be a multitude. It has to be a multitude, a multi-dimension. All right, you guys, please join me over on VE Test Creators. Once again, the instructions are very simple. They're in the description of this video if you're watching it. And I am going to be moving the chat. We're going to get rid of the little floaty chat over here, and we are going to be over there in that community where we can all bring value to each other and transact in a great way. So see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.